Mr. Secretary, I'd like to seek some answers respectfully, to have a civil discourse. You are a friend of a close friend of mine, and I respect that. On Saturday, I was not allowed in the detention facility in Homestead, Florida, to speak with the 70 children that I was told that were there that had been separated from their parents. Do you know what has changed since Saturday with those 70?
So, Senator, we are very happy to arrange visits for senators and members of Congress to these facilities. We do need to do so in a way that's orderly because they are trying to, the first and foremost priority is the safety and well-being of these children that we and our grantees care deeply about. And you should have been and would have been able to interact with them, but not, of course, interview them. These are minor children. They're not there to be deposed or interviewed. So I do want to be careful about that. That's just simply not acceptable for any. We have to protect these children. They're in care, they're in shelter. This is a difficult situation for all of them, and we all, I'm sure you share that desire that we are doing our best and our utmost to be respectful of those children.
Mr. Secretary, I didn't ask that. Yeah. I asked what has happened since Saturday to those 70 children.
Well, I don't know which 70 children you met with. I can tell you what our normal process.
No, I didn't meet with any of them. I was not allowed to, as you just stated.
You're allowed to be in their presence, but you can't depose them, and that's.
I understand. That's quite clear. So my question, please, I'm trying to be respectful.
Yeah.
My question is, the 70 children that I was told were in that facility that had been separated from their parents, what has happened to them?
So they would either continue to be in our care, or if they have reached a point where a sponsor who is in the United States, who is a parent or a relative, has been vetted and has been approved for sponsorship, they would have been released as expeditiously as possible to those sponsors.
How many of those children have been able to be in contact by telephone with their parents from whom they were separated?
So for any of them who have been separated from their parent at the time of the parent's detention by the Customs and Border Patrol, within 24 hours of arriving at an ORR shelter, we endeavor to put them in touch, get on the phone with their parents. Sometimes that can't happen if, for instance, if the parent has been located for criminal prosecution and placed by the Bureau of Prisons, say with a county jail. It may be harder to arrange that communication. We are actually deploying public health service officers out there to facilitate that. We want every child and every parent to be in communication at least twice a week so that they're talking by Skype or by phone available. We want this to happen, and so I can't say as to those 70, but all should have been within 24 hours of arriving, made in touch, if at all possible, with the parent, if the parent was accessible where the parent was being kept.
Okay, now, I asked that question of the lady who is overseeing the facility of getting the children in touch, and she said that a handful of the children had not been able to be on the telephone. So I said, well, what is your plan for reuniting these children? And she said there is a lady named Barbara Flotus who, since I was there on Saturday, she doesn't work except on the weekdays. And I said, well, I will try to reach Barbara Flotus to tell me what is the plan. I was prevented from speaking with Barbara Flotus yesterday, Monday. Can you help arrange that so that I can know what the plan is to reunite the children?
So we will be happy to work with you to arrange through the grantee. Of course, she's not an employee of my department. She works for a grantee.
Through the grantee.
So, of course, it would be their decision if they want to make her available to you. We will continue to work with your staff to facilitate if you wish to speak with her.
You will not hinder me talking.
Of course
well,
not.
Yesterday that occurred. So what is the plan to reunite 2,300 children?
Absolutely. So the first thing we need to do is, for any of the parents, we have to confirm parentage. So that's part of the process with any child in our care. We have to ensure there are traffickers, there are smugglers, there frankly are just some bad people occasionally. We have to ensure that the parentage is confirmed. We have to vet those parents to ensure there's no criminality or violent history on them. That's part of the regular process for any placement with an individual. At that point, they'll be ready to be reconnected to their parents. This is where our very broken immigration laws come into play. We're not allowed to have a child be with the parent who is in custody of the Department of Homeland Security for more than 20 days. And so until we can get Congress to change that law to the forcible separation there of the family units, we'll hold them or place them with another family relative in the United States. But we are working to get all these kids ready to be placed back with their parents, get that all cleared up. As soon as, if Congress passes a change or if those parents complete their immigration proceedings, we can then reunify. So we want to be ready. The President shares that we do not want any children separated from their parents any longer than absolutely necessary under the law, and we want to effectuate that and make that happen, Senator.
Senator, your time is up.